How professional. And here we go again. Hi there. Welcome once again to the kitchen here on a Sunday afternoon, which is a little different, but I figured why not? After all, it's a Sunday, and we are sitting here getting ready for another snowstorm here in New York. Gee, it's snowing in Saturday on Sunday. No, try again. Gee, it's snowing in New York in January. What a surprise. Yeah, so there's really nothing else to do, and I figured have a little fun putting together some biscuits and gravy here on YouTube Live because, well, why not? And for starters, my light seems to have, well, actually, that doesn't seem so bad. Okay, then I'll leave it as it is. All right. Actually, no, that's not fair. Let's change that around. There we go. As you can see, everything is as professional as always. But anyway, I had just wanted to, as I said, put together some biscuits and gravy. And then when the biscuits are ready and they go into the oven, I'm hoping to go live on TikTok at the same time, just because, well, I still want to try this TikTok live thing since I have the capability to go live there. So, hello, folks. Hello, folks, for showing up. We've got the Skillet Doctor and Cynthia Wesley and Rick Stumbow and Clico. Hello, everyone. I guess I should say right now, you don't have to drop what you're doing just to go live here on YouTube. Um, you can play it in the background or play it later when it replays if you want. I'm not asking you to change your schedule for me, especially on a Sunday. But enough of that. Let's get started here. I've already done the dry ingredients, so I'm taking a cue from a tip here, and that is since we're supposed to use cold butter. Excuse me, please. I gotta get the butter out of the freezer. I froze a stick of butter so that it will be nice and cold when in order to prepare this biscuit mix. And folks who make biscuits pretty much agree that, yeah, you definitely need cold butter. So this is about as cold as we can get. And I've never grated frozen butter before. I hope this isn't too difficult, but I'm betting it shouldn't be. Oh no, this isn't hard at all. I meant it's not difficult at all. The butter is nice and stiff, yes, fortunately. And I've got to do this quickly because, well, the whole point is butter needs to be cold. So let me see if I can't try to get a better angle of this. Um, there we go. That might help. But yeah, I'm grating a whole stick of butter here. I've already prepared my dry ingredients, which are your usual flour, baking powder, a little bit of salt. And this recipe calls for a little bit of sugar in the biscuits too, so which is nice. Although it's not, although the it's going to be kind of a savory gravy to go with this, in that in addition to the biscuits, I'm going to be doing a gravy with ground beef. I'm also throwing in some bacon and some mushrooms because why not? So rather than a breakfast gravy, this is kind of like a brunch or maybe even a breakfast for dinner type of gravy. Okay, I better hurry up and get this done. Yeah, this is always the fun part, I know. The thing is, of course, with biscuit dough, you don't want to overwork the dough, as they said, which is why they say it's best to do this by hand rather than using an electric mixer or grinder or food processor. So all I can do is wait until this is done. Hello. Oh yeah, hippie. And hello, hi to. Oh yeah, is it Wednesday already? Well, like I said, I just thought, just for the heck of it, I would go on live for this biscuits and gravy. Give us something to do this afternoon, I guess. And I'll say again, if you have something better to do, go ahead. I am not going to ask you to change your Sunday schedule on my account. Well, we have some butter at least in the works, so off to a, we're off to a start. But I better get this done as quickly as I can. Comparing this to grating cheese, well, the physical part isn't that hard. It's not really too much of an effort, but I hope this is done quickly. And yeah, I'd say maybe we're halfway done. What fun. I'm probably going to cheat before it's finished and just simply cut up the last few pieces. Still, we're definitely making some progress here. Yeah, I'll say again, right now I am grating a frozen, well, formerly frozen, stick of butter because you're supposed to have cold butter to mix into your biscuits. Yes, I'm making the biscuits by hand because why not? After all, homemade is almost always better than store-bought, and biscuits are certainly one of them. Store-bought, there's nothing wrong with store-bought biscuits. It's just that homemade biscuits can be better. I say can be because it depends on how well you make them. For starters, I have to be sure that I don't burn these things. The oven is at 425, and supposedly I only need to bake these for like maybe about 15 minutes, but the real key, of course, is you bake them until they start to brown on the top. Meanwhile, once we do this, yeah, I've done pretty good at this point. Hurry up. Come on. Yeah, I'm trying to get this done as quickly as I can. Ugh. And at the same time, I don't want to scrape my fingers. That's always fun. Still, we've gotten this far. All right, let me see. How can I do this? Let me quickly get a knife, scrape the rest of this off. The recipe actually calls for only about 6 tablespoons of butter. I froze a whole stick, and so now that I'm thinking of it, I think I did the right thing because that technically means we're done. We have maybe about 2 tablespoons left here, so this is supposed to be the right amount. Let me throw in just a wee bit more, just for the heck of it, because yeah, I know too much butter is not necessarily a bad thing, despite what your dietitian may say. Okay, that takes care of that. The rest of this, yeah, right. The rest of this, okay, this goes in the sink. This I have to quickly stick in the fridge. I don't want to keep sticking my gut in front of the camera here. So, thank you for your patience as always, folks. Okay. Besides this extra butter, we will, of course, be able to use it in the gravy. There we go. And that may hopefully have been the hard part. Let's see if we can get a better angle here. Yep, as you can see, once again, I'm as professional as always. Okay, but here are our dry ingredients. And here are our wet ingredients. Well, almost wet ingredients. The butter is semi-wet. The wet ingredients, the buttermilk, will come after the flour is incorporated. Butter is incorporated into the dry ingredients. Incorporated. Fancy word for mixed, isn't it? All right. Ugh. Come on, let's do this quickly. That was the whole point of freezing this butter. There we go. Hopefully that'll be enough. Whatever it isn't, we'll make up for with the buttermilk. Which means now we got to mix this in. There I go again. As best as we can. Of course, I know with flaky pastry of any kind, you do want there to be hunks of butter left over because that is where they melt and you get your air pockets, which is what makes pastry flaky. But there we go. Yeah, I'm okay. Hopefully, other than my getting this flour all over the place, what else is new? And I'm sure I'm not the only one who does that. Looks like the hard part is already over. So, here comes our buttermilk. Start with a little bit at a time. That's yet another thing I learned the hard way in that whenever mixing your wet into the dry, you always want to do it a little bit at a time. It incorporates it or emulsifies it or whatever is it better. And you usually end up using less of the wet ingredients. If I poured all of that in at once, it would not work. Oh, come on, stop with the spilling. And it would be necessary to use more. And especially these days when ingredients can be expensive, well, we want to try avoiding that. Hi, I hope Debbie is better. I hope so. Not my picnic. Okay, not my PC. Well, I don't know what. I see they were asking like they don't know. Oh, about snow. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, here, yeah, for you folks down south, although I understand you've experienced some yourself recently. Um, but in the winter time here up north, yes, it's true. Water freezes in the sky, and these white flakes do fall to the ground, and they're called snow. And some people love it, some people hate it. Mostly the people who have to drive in it. Of course, when you have your 100-degree or 90-degree plus summers where the temperature is over 90 and sometimes over 100. Oh, come on, damn it! This is not making the. Sorry about that. Anyway, for yeah, for months, weeks, or months at a time, I realize you folks down south may tend to forget there's such a thing called snow. So I thought I might remind you of that. By the way, I made a New Year's resolution to be less sarcastic towards people. Sarcasm means you're talking down to them. Or that was condescending, actually. Well, that ruined that joke. Nonetheless, okay. Come on. Try to get some flour right into the mixture instead of spilling it outside the pan, bowl, whatever it is. All right, there we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Now it's starting to look like a dough here. Okay. Maybe just a wee bit more, and then, gee, we only have a wee bit more. There we go, and that's that. All right. And with that, all I have to do is bring this together and we will have our biscuit dough. Ugh. Like I said, with any luck, the hard part should be over. All I have to do now is spread out the dough. Well, that's good. I get to use some of this flour on the board. There we go, I think. I hope. In fact, this dough may be little bit wet still. So, I don't know, looks kind of shaggy. Think perhaps I had better sprinkle a wee bit of, move this out of this way now, wee bit of flour onto it, not much. I've finally learned a few lessons. There we go. This is starting to look a little better. Still a little wet though. Ah, let's do this. All right, let's tiny bit more flour. There we go. That's better. Now we're starting to get somewhere. This is not bread dough, so I don't really want to overwork it. I don't want to knead it. I don't want to form gluten, or at least not too much gluten. On the other hand, now is the point where we start folding it over so that we have again, so that it's kind of like the flaky pastry that comes in layers. So I'll do this a few times, and then we'll be able to cut it out. Careful. Damn it. More flour. Ugh, I guess it means I might have made it a little too wet. I hope not. Well, with any luck, it should still bake okay in the oven, or at least that's my hope. There we go. Fold it over. There we go. Fold it over. There. All right, now one last time. And I think we're ready, I hope, to start cutting it out. Here is a BSNR number 10. Boy, this camera, I better move the light on top of everything else. It's giving me a shadow of the camera. Always something. Here is our BSNR number 10, a 12-inch pan, because I'm really not entirely sure how many of these biscuits we're going to get out of this, but we'll find out. There we go. I think this should be sufficient for starters. Now, supposedly, in addition to everything else, you're just supposed to push down the biscuit cutter. You don't twist it. So we'll start with this and work our way from there. I really hope these things aren't too wet. They do look like the biscuits from the can, though, I will say that. 3, 4. Yeah, damn it. Definitely still too much moisture on here. All right. Then, definitely it's going to need more flour. This was going to be the flour for the gravy. I'll just have to get more. There we go. That should be plenty, I hope. All right, now we'll just do it again. Fold and press, fold and press. Now that's starting to look a little bit more like a reasonable dough. Glad to say. All right, here's another one. and another one, and another one. So we're at 6 biscuits for a starter. That's not so bad. Okay. Yeah, this one is definitely doing much better than the first 4. All right. And we keep on going. If we get another couple here, I think we'll be doing okay because we already have 7 biscuits. So that's not a bad start. If I can get 2 more, I'll be in luck. Fold. And speaking of shadow, where's Trouble? Trouble and Mobley. I think they went upstairs. They seem to. Well, no. Sometimes Trouble does come out to cause trouble. Yes, during these lives, but lately, I think they've decided that they're just going to go upstairs and relax, which is fine with me. But they are still here. All right, here's one more biscuit. Getting wet again, damn it. Ugh, I can only imagine what it's going to be like getting these things out of the pan. Still, we have 8 biscuits. And this should be 9. There we go. More or less. More or less indeed. All right, there we go. Let's move this over a little bit. And this extra dough will make a very rough biscuit because why waste the dough, especially since I've made such a mess here. And so that means we have sort of like 9.5 biscuits. There we go, I guess. The oven is already preheated, which means we get to. Actually, I have a timer too for once. So we get to pop these in the oven and then prepare for stage 2. Although I should definitely clean up my mess a little bit first. So into the oven at 425. Set the timer so that we don't forget. Because, yeah, I tend to do things like that. I'm sure you've noticed. I'll start checking it at 12. And how do we start this anyway? There it goes. Okay, good. Thermo timer. So we'll check it at 12 minutes. Finally, let me very quickly try cleaning up a little bit of this mess, and then comes the fun part. Oh, yeah, that means I better do one other thing. Start heating up this. A BSR Sportsman. Now, come on. BSR on our Sportsman. Here we go. Fish fryer. All right, so we'll get back to that in just a second. Let's see, I guess what I just need to do is mess up this sponge a little bit. I'm not going to take forever, I promise. I'll do a better cleanup later. I just want to get this out of the way as best as I can. Because, yeah, I made something of a mess here. My bad. All right. I guess that's one reason why I like these live videos. They give me an incentive, not exactly to rush, but try to get it finished. So that's something at least. There we go. Like I said, I will clean this up better later. But right now, what I do? Hold on. Oh no, I do not want to go to another site because I don't want to ruin this. Okay, that means we are about ready now. Save the rest of this for the gravy. Go on to step two, which means we get to move over here. Let's see if I can. Ugh, good grief! Here comes the roller coaster again. Yeah, as I said, I want to make another attempt to go live on TikTok because I can. Over on TikTok, I've managed to get. Come on, there we go. That's pretty good. Over 1,200 subscribers or followers, as they call it. And that entitles me to the privilege, ha ha ha, going live on TikTok. Okay, good. Make sure I could still, if I could move over this way more. There we go. That's pretty good. I've included a link to the TikTok side of this on the description of this YouTube live. If anybody wants to see me make a fool of myself on TikTok as well, yeah, largely because the audience or the people over on TikTok may or may not be what you see here on YouTube. Oh yeah. Oh, one last thing though. Got to go into the fridge and dig out a couple of things. In particular, my meats. Meat. Yeah, meat. And all right, butter I'll leave in the fridge, and of course the milk I'll leave in the fridge. Oh yeah, how could I forget? Well, finally, dig out a little bit of Worcestershire sauce to go with the gravy. There we are. Bam. And now at last, here we go. Hello, Edward Hoff. Praise Bob. Yeah, there she is. And hello again. So everybody, now you get to be witness to my second attempt to go live on TikTok. This should be amusing, especially since, as I mentioned, the audience on TikTok is not the same as the audience on YouTube, in that I feel there's a good chance you're going to be seeing. Oh, don't tell me this. Oh, no, that's switched around. That's why. I feel there's a good chance you are going to be seeing. Oh, good. I can move this over a little bit. You're going to be, if you go onto TikTok, you'll probably be seeing comments either calling me Walter White or a creepy stalker, because there are a lot of kids on TikTok. There's no denying that. And no, I am not on TikTok for that. But on the other hand, there are also a lot of older people on TikTok, yet they usually get called just that, creepy stalkers, just because, heaven forbid, someone old signs into TikTok. Having said that, click on the live right now. And change. Okay, now I need to set up this live intro. No, that's not what I want. Right, for starters, I don't even remember what the name of how I changed this. No replacement. Oh, there we go. Okay. Because the title was Making Biscuits. Now it's going to be Cast Iron. And I was never any good at texting either. Biscuits apostrophe N, because it's got a biscuits in gravy. And with that, here we go. Let's see. Okay. So have fun and watch as I get into trouble on TikTok. Really, I hope I don't get into trouble. But we're going live right now. Three, two. ah, Hi there. Well, welcome again to what is, I guess, my either my second or my fourth TikTok live. Not that anybody has shown up yet, but hey, I'm a very small TikTok channel, so I mean, I'm not expecting people to jump in immediately. But if anyone cares to show up eventually, I'm hoping this will be entertaining because what you are looking at right now, folks, is a Birmingham stove and range. Oh, it says here. Oh, here we go. People are showing up now. We're notifying viewers that you're live. Well, thank you very much. I'll say that again. Hi there. Welcome to my kitchen, folks, where you are looking at a piece of vintage cast iron cookware. This is an oval fish fryer that was made in Birmingham, Alabama, and it could have been made anywhere from the 1920s all the way to the 1960s. So this wonderful piece of cookware is at least 60 years old, potentially going on 100 years old, although I'm don't really think it's that old. It was made by Birmingham Stove and Range. And yes, I am a cast iron geek. That's why I am telling you this. because, yeah, I find these kind of things interesting. However, what you might find interesting, I hope, is that we're about, oh, yeah, I better turn on this fan. Sorry. And I hope drown out the, this doesn't drown out the microphone here on my phone. But yeah, this is going to be biscuits and gravy. The biscuits are in the oven right now. And in fact, I'll be checking those in just a few minutes. Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm going to have to move the camera away. However, let's get started on the gravy. And for that, we've got ourselves some ground beef and bacon. Because why not? What's wrong with bacon in gravy? There we go. But this particular pan here, this is definitely one of my favorite kitchen users because it is so big and it is so convenient. As I said, this is an oval fish fryer, although you can, of course, make anything in this because it's a cast iron pan. Essentially, what this really is a oval shaped skillet. That's basically it. It's basically a cast iron skillet in the shape of a long oval pan. And it's big enough to fit over two burners on the stove, which means there's a lot of space here for making whatever you want to make, such as gravy in this case. And that's one reason why I like using it. It's got a lot of space, and unlike your typical round 12-inch skillet, this one puts a lot more of its surface area directly over the burners. So I guess you can say it heats a little better, although there is a cooler spot in the center because that part is not over the heat. Anyway, we are just busy cooking ourselves up, as I said, some ground beef and some bacon, to which point we're going to mix in our flour and milk, make ourselves a roux, and have ourselves some gravy. I'm an older fuddy-duddy, yes. The fact that I just said the word fuddy-duddy demonstrates that. But also in that I'm also a Yankee from the North, in that I never even discovered biscuits and gravy until I was over 40 years old. Because my New England family, well, just never made it. I mean, they always made the usual breakfast and other things, you know, your usual pancakes and sausage, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But it wasn't until I took a trip down south on a business trip for the first time that I discovered gravy, and it was at the hotel we were staying at. Nothing fancy. I think it was your typical, maybe it might have been a Best Western. And those are the type of hotels that have their breakfast buffets. So when it came down, I was a little surprised to see a tray full of this funny, thick, white goop. that looked like library paste. And yet people were happily scooping it up and having it over their biscuits. And yeah, that was how I discovered biscuits and gravy. And I never looked back. Because as much as proud as I am of my New England heritage, oh yeah, thank you. Here we go. Thank goodness for this timer. I've got, excuse me one moment. I need to check the biscuits. See how they look. And they're not yet beginning to brown on the top, which means from the looks of it, I think I could safely, how do I, oh yeah, that's how. Just do this, turn this off and then turn it back on and set it to another 3 minutes. With any luck, that should be enough. For a second, I was afraid that was the smoke alarm. Where was I? Oh, yes. So this Yankee here discovered biscuits and gravy. And then a few years later, I learned how to cook and started making it myself. Okay, I do recognize it's released a little bit of liquid here. However, all we need to do is get this bacon to cook. Not too much liquid. I mean, it's not overflowing. I'd say this should be okay. Once the bacon is cooked, then we will get down to the gravy. Anyway, as I said, and by the way, hello to folks on TikTok. What are we cooking? Well, quite simply, again, we're doing biscuits and gravy, and this part here is the gravy. The biscuits are in the oven. In this case, again, I'm using ground beef and bacon to make us some gravy, because bacon makes everything better. And bacon goes with cast iron probably as much as cornbread goes with cast iron. Okay, so far so good. All I really need to do, as I said, is wait until the bacon is cooked. The biscuits are homemade, as is this gravy, as you can see, because it's really not difficult to make your own biscuits. Whether or not they turn out to be any good, well, I'll find out pretty much the same time you do. And that's not crispy. No, you're right. This bacon is not crispy. I agree. That's because it's mixed in here with this ground beef. Let me see. Both of the burners are on, so I guess all I can do is have a little patience, and this bacon will crisp up. Of course, it would probably help if I didn't constantly move it around, too. That's a habit I've had since the beginning. So I should trust it to do what it does best. But yeah, again, this is, well, as I said, this is a piece of vintage cast iron. It is from Birmingham Stove and Range. It is part of their Sportsman Sportsman Grill series. In fact, this fish fryer was made to go on top of the Sportsman Grill. And yes, that is in fact the very same Sportsman Grill, well, not anymore, that has been made for the last couple of decades. Oh, there it goes again. Thank you. Okay, stop that. That's reminding me to check the biscuits. And I'm not sure yet. I think I'm maybe seeing maybe just a wee bit of browning, but I'm not sure if I trust this. I think I'm going to give it maybe about another minute at the most. So we'll do this one last time here. But what was I saying? Oh, yes. The Sportsman Grill has, in fact, been made by Lodge Cast Iron for the past couple of days, and that is true because Birmingham Stove and Range is, unfortunately, no longer in business. They declared bankruptcy, in fact, at the end of 1992, technically January 1993. And at that time, they had to settle their debts, including debts with Lodge Cast Iron. So they passed on the ownership of the Sportsman Grill to Lodge Cast Iron. Lodge has been making that cast iron grill, or I'll just allow people to call it a hibachi, since 1992, and it has been a big seller for them consistently, which is why they still make it today. Although only within the last year, Lodge completely redesigned the Sportsman Grill, pretty much top to bottom. They released a new model. Oh, thank you. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. All right. Let me. Okay. I'm going to have to move this camera for a moment. Apologize. So that I can get into the oven and check these biscuits, because I do not want to burn biscuits. These don't look too bad, and yet I think I could safely put them in for maybe about 1 more minute. There is a little bit of browning on the top, but I'm going to risk it 1 more minute. There we go. So we'll do this one last time. But where was I? Oh, yes. So, well, I'm starting to hear the bacon now. So, yeah, even though it's a little slow, the bacon is starting to crisp. You simply caught me at an early moment before this was thoroughly cooked. And, of course, you do have to thoroughly cook pork. But, again, it's only a matter of being patient. So I appreciate folks who may want to stick around. I recognize, of course, that TikTok is really all about the short attention span. And that you jump in, you look here for a few seconds, go, boring, and then move on. And there it is. Okay. Now, for the last time, I hope. Oh, that means I think I can turn this off too. I think I can turn that fan off. Now, careful. There we are. I would say I probably don't want to risk it anymore. But here we go with some homemade biscuits. And over here as well. Ooh, yeah, this is definitely hot, even through the silicone glove. But now we can get down to some real business. I can turn off the oven, turn off the oven light. Where was I? Oh, yes. As I said, here. Gee, TikTok is home of a short attention span. It's like folks drop by for a few seconds, decide this is boring, and then move on. Well, that's, of course, because you're not seeing the usual hot chick shaking her thang here on YouTube, on TikTok Live, the way you normally do. Well, so be it. Fact is, there are older people on TikTok these days. And no, I am not here to stalk anyone. I'm actually here to have some fun myself. I did manage to get up to over 1,000 followers on my TikTok channel. So I hope that means I've been able to contribute. And thanks to everybody who was kind enough to follow me. If you'd like to follow my TikTok channel now, feel free. Or you could even go onto YouTube and take a look at my YouTube channel, Cast Iron Chaos, where I've had a YouTube channel on there, believe it or not, for over 10 years. So, and I've slowly been building up my membership there too. And what can I say? It's been a fun journey. But of course, things change over time. I mean, TikTok has pretty much taken the world of videos by storm to the point where both YouTube and Facebook are attempting to imitate TikTok. YouTube has its shorts now, and Facebook has its, I don't know what they call it on Facebook, Reels, I think, or is that Instagram? Oh yeah, Facebook owns Instagram too, so so you can't get away from Facebook yet. But following, and there are, oh, thank you very much, folks who are nice enough. That's not, oh no, that's old bacon. That's not crispy. As you can see, the bacon is changing color and it is getting to be more like the bacon that we all know and love. All it requires is a little patience. I could sing that Guns N' Roses song, but that again would show you how old I am. In fact, I know I'm old when Guns N' Roses is considered classic rock. It was a shock when I realized that when you hear things like, say, early Nine Inch Nails, for instance, or Jane's Addiction, or Nirvana, Pearl Jam. Oh yeah, I don't listen to that. That's my parents' music. Oh, oh, good grief! Considering I come from the era where the stuff we heard in high school were later Led Zeppelin, earlier YouTube, Duran Duran, Madonna, 80s stuff. Yeah, I was in high school in the 80s, and somehow I survived it. But there we go. This bacon is curling up now, so I'd say we're probably at the point where we can move on. So, yeah, the beef is shrunk too, so there's plenty of room here, which is also good. Don't want any of it to stick, which means I actually get to throw in one more thing, some mushrooms. Because why not? Mushrooms are cool. Have to throw that canister out. Okay. So yeah, this is gonna be a ground beef, bacon, and mushroom gravy. Because it is 4:30 here, and it's getting along closer to supper or dinner here in my part of the world. So this is kind of like a breakfast for dinner type of thing. And what's wrong with biscuits and gravy for dinner? All right. All I really need to do is wait until these mushrooms start to turn color, and we're finally ready to get it on. And anyway, I can only hope. Let me see. It looks like I've got about 19 likes here on this live video, which, yeah, as I said, I'm a very small very small channel. I know that. And cooking is not the type of thing most people come to TikTok for, although there is definitely a foodie TikTok. As I said, I'm not, yeah, you're looking here and you're seeing this. Oops, I think I actually dropped a piece. You're seeing this. Come on, you bugger. Here we go. Rather than seeing some young thing shaking her thing. I know I've said that before, but really, it's like, even now, after TikTok has been invaded by political trolls and religious trolls, 2/3 of the videos on TikTok, I hope I keep saying TikTok and not YouTube, 2/3 of the videos on TikTok are still just that. And hey, more power to them. If they want to do that, then they can do that. I'm not one of those girls. So, in fact, I like to think that if and when I go live here on TikTok, it's going to be kind of like a sanctuary from all of that. Because if it's not someone, again, trying to sit there, look pretty, and ask for gifts, nowadays, especially, this all seemed to start within the past couple of months. Now we've got all of these stupid religious trolls here on TikTok. They all say the same thing pretty much. Come here and debate, except that there's no debate. I mean, you're in charge of your TikTok channel. You can pretty much kick out anybody you want who doesn't agree with you. And it's always extreme religious subjects, too. I mean, it's either God doesn't exist or Jesus is Lord, and there's pretty much no in between, either one or the other, because it's all meant, well, of course, to get views, but also it's all meant to troll people and get attention. And then there are the political TikToks that are doing the same thing. And I'm really not interested in that. Oh, mushrooms are definitely cooking up. And by the way, the bacon looks pretty nice at this point as well. So I'd say we're about ready now. I've got to quickly head to the refrigerator, dig out butter and milk. Ugh. Here we are. Ow. Yeah, you too. Because, as the saying goes, first you got to make a roux. That should be enough butter. Yeah, that's the other thing about gravy. No one ever said gravy was healthy. We don't have gravy because it's healthy. We have it because it's delicious. And get this butter melted up. And then from there, we throw in some flour. And that is our roux. For folks who, well, oh, okay, how can I say this in a manner that does not sound insulting? Let me try it this way. I am over 50 years old. For 40 years of my life, I would have told you I could not cook to save my life. I mean, I did not know anything about cooking. My mother used to tell a story of how I burned spaghetti when I tried to make it when I was young, while it was still in the water. However, there's one thing I've learned, well, several things I've learned since learning how to actually cook. And the first thing is that the vast majority of cooking is easy. There's really nothing difficult to it. I mean, as you can see, all I've done is thrown my ingredients together, stirred them around in a hot pan, baked some biscuits, and there's nothing wrong with using canned biscuits or wump biscuits, as they call it. And this is going to be a supper that, even though the cost of everything is going up, including ground beef, this is still a pretty inexpensive supper, especially since some of this I've had in the freezer for a while, and this is an excuse to use that. There we go. The butter is gone, so now comes the flour. You mix it all together for a roux and cook it for maybe a minute or so. Oh, that's the last bit of butter. Now it's gone. Cook it for about a minute or so that there won't be any floury taste in the gravy. All right. And if anybody wants to comment, feel free. If anybody wants to be snarky, feel free. If anybody wants to do like a Mystery Science Theater type of commentary on this, have I just aged myself by saying Mystery Science Theater? If anybody wants to be sarcastic, feel free. Because after all, I'm on TikTok. And I don't dish it out unless I can take it. You can check my TikTok profile. As you can see, I made a couple of dozen videos of my own, 2 of which somehow managed to become TikTok famous within only the last week or so. That was what pushed me over 1,000 followers. Thanks to everybody for that. And yeah, as you can also see, much of my obsession has to do with old cast iron. Yes, that's right. My idea of fun is hunting down old frying pans. I'm not sure. I may need a little bit more flour here. Well, let me try the milk first before I say that. Yeah, my idea of fun is going to antique malls and flea markets and looking for old cast iron frying pans. Oh, okay. Then I think I am good. I don't think we need any more flour. Because what can I say? I'm a geek. You've got your comic book geeks and your sports geeks and your makeup geeks. Me, I'm a cooking geek. specifically a cast iron geek. And I do it because it's fun. What else? What other reason is there to do it? Hmm. Maybe I should mix in a little bit of extra flour. Oh, I should have patience first before I say that, because I do like my gravy thick. Some folks don't. I like a thick gravy. Granted, it does actually seem to be thickening. So once again, I think all I need is a little bit of patience. Anyway, with eggs. Hmm. No eggs here. I'm just using biscuits. I do have eggs, yes, but I just felt like making biscuits and gravy, which is what we have here. This is the gravy part. And I like to think there's a lot more meat in this gravy than there was when I first discovered it at that hotel breakfast about somewhere around 10 to 15 years ago. Yeah, this is starting to look pretty good. I might still want to thicken it a little bit. I mean, granted, as you can see, it is kind of thick, but I don't think it's the kind of thick that I want. So, like it or not, I should probably throw in maybe a dash more flour, but only a little bit. Don't need to do very much. Probably enough. There's what? Maybe another tablespoon of flour in there. I'm also going to have to swirl this around and cook it so that, again, you don't taste the flour. Oh, yeah, that definitely helped. That little bit definitely helped. This is looking more like gravy right now. And on top of the final project, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is starting to look like gravy, all right. Although this is gravy with bacon and mushrooms. So things are looking pretty good at this point. That means not only, that means we are going to be treating ourselves, well, in my kitchen anyway, to some SOS, which, as folks may or may not know, is, of course, stands for a spoonful of sugar. Yes, SOS. That is the joke that I heard and like saying, namely that picture a young girl saying, "Mommy, what does SOS mean?" Spoonful of sugar, honey, just like Mary Poppins. That's not what Daddy said. Because, yes, I know, shit on a shingle. And there are some other wonderful words for it too, most of which come from our friends in the U.S. Army, who are almost never served this stuff anymore. My brother is a 20 going on 30-year Army veteran. He says he never ate this for breakfast. Usually, they have a more standard breakfast because things are fancier these days, or they do. I better put the milk back because I think we're done. Or, or they do MREs. And yes, I know MRE. Actually, I don't need salt. There's more than enough salt here from that bacon. And I know folks have said enough things about MREs. Meals ready to eat. Or as they say, meals rejected by everyone. Or as some, the more offensive way of saying it is meals rejected by Ethiopians. All right, just a little bit of that. And a little bit of good old Worcestershire sauce. Oh, yeah, let me say something. Worcestershire sauce. How hard is it to pronounce Worcestershire? Yet, I know there's this big running joke on TikTok that people always call it wash your sister sauce. So yeah, okay. Now I suppose come the comments that, oh yeah, this guy has no sense of humor. No, it is funny, yes. but they never pronounce it right here on TikTok. I mean, if they were kind enough to pronounce it right maybe once in a while, then I probably wouldn't be saying this. Nice to see you. Well, hello, Taco98. Well, thank you very much for saying that. So say aluminum. We could do aluminum. We could do aluminum. We could do aluminium. All right. Easy on the pepper. Nah, I'm a pepperholic. For me, there's no such thing as too much pepper. On the other hand, I think we're done. I better turn off the heat before this starts to burn or get too thick. Because there we go. We have ourselves some gravy. That means now comes the fun part. And yeah, I won't keep you folks on much longer. Let's move over here, clear off this space. Thank you so much. And one other thing I need to, sorry about that, place over here. Dig out a plate. And here comes our biscuits and gravy. And where does, okay, this will do. Let's do this. I hope there, yeah, I'll make enough room here. Yeah, I always forget something. Like right now, need a space for this so that I can put out my cast iron pan. Ugh, there we go. As promised, these were some homemade biscuits. Homemade biscuits over here. Move this over. There we go. And so that means I don't have tongs on me. Well, I'll just have to fake it. 1, 2. Oh, I can smell the butter in these. Haha. 3. And now finally, let's get the other trivet. And then after this, we'll be done. Thank you very much, folks. Okay. Come on, you know what. Move this over here. Oh, you too. All right, here is hot and bubbling still. Is our gravy. So there we are. Thank you for your time, folks. And I hope you have yourself a nice supper tonight. Me, I'm just going to have some nice hot and steaming biscuits and gravy with sausages and mushrooms mixed into the gravy. So yeah, it's probably a heart attack on a plate. Well, if it is, then I'll certainly die with a smile on my face. But there we go. If you're not in America, yes, this is what we eat in America. Doesn't this look tasty, folks? Boy, I mean, just look at this wonderful, aesthetically pleasing dish of slop. But nonetheless, this is what we eat here in the United States, and I'm more than happy to chow down. So, thank you so much, TikTok, and I hope you enjoyed it. Yes, exactly. Shit on a shingle. Breakfast for dinner. But thank you everybody for watching, and I do hope you folks, well, if you'd be kind enough to drop by my TikTok channel, and we will have some fun. Thank you very much, and have a good evening, folks. Close this out. Try to close this out, and now, all right. Now back to YouTube. Uh, so there we go. I went on TikTok and somehow survived. But yes, exactly as it says in here. Let me move down a little bit to get a little bit of a close up. But there we are, biscuits and gravy. I'm proud to have done the homemade biscuits, and boy, they've got a nice buttery smell to them. And the gravy, of course, both of which were done in BS&R cast iron pans. Yeah, well, hey, it's easy enough. If you want to make breakfast for supper, I'm sure your family won't mind. But nonetheless, sorry about that, Janet. As I said, I was intentionally doing this in order to go on to TikTok. I'm not going to make a regular occurrence of this, I think, because I want to do YouTube Live. And as you can see, the TikTok takes up a lot of effort and attention. So I will probably just stick, I think, to YouTube Live unless the situation changes and find something else to do on TikTok Live. But until then, nonetheless, thank you as well, folks, for your time here this on this Sunday. And if I look out the window, well, so far I have not seen any sign yet of that snow that we're supposed to be getting. However, we do have all night. I also have all night and more to finish off this supper here. So, but yes, there we go. Okay, let me check a couple of comments and again, thank you for your patience with all this, folks. Then we'll head out for the evening here. Yeah, you need to make some biscuits, Debbie. Yes, you do. Definitely, yeah, they're a tough crowd. Yeah. Well, like I said, TikTok, unfortunately, is a completely different, I guess you could call it demographic. TikTok don't care about your feelings. Yeah, now tell me about it. They also don't care about things like copyrights. Granny gave away nice iron, celebrating another milestone. Well, congratulations for that. Just got back from second Christmas. Need a dump cookie showing up here again. Ooh. Oh, yeah, there you go. Make yourself a big skillet cookie and use your leftover candy instead of chocolate chips or with chocolate chips. And my daughter brought me a dump cake made out of my peaches and apples. Oh, that sounds good. I saw a cast iron pan at a flea market. Bottom said 8 and favorite. Ooh, had a ring on the bottom and coal damage. That does sound suspicious. Well, that's what you meant by ring. I thought you meant you were giving it the ding test for checking for cracks. Um, it does sound like you've got yourself a nice favorite there. Many favorite pans do have sulfur damage or pitting on the bottom. I would say if you want it, and especially if you can get it cheap, then go for it. It does not sound like the type of thing that would be worth paying a pretty penny for, even if it's a favorite. So that's about the best advice I can give. Did mashed potatoes and brown gravy, fried chicken, smothered pork chops, cornbread, and New Year's frozen peas. Ooh, happy football day. Oh, yeah. So I took enough antibiotics. Okay. Anyway, I think we're all set. Besides, it's supper time here. So I can only thank everybody for showing up on this Sunday evening. And I know a lot of people have things to do too. So, and I don't blame you at all. But I just felt like passing the time. And I can only thank everybody here for showing up. So I will promise you folks that, as I said, I'm not giving up YouTube. I'm not giving up YouTube Live and my YouTube channel. If anything, I enjoy doing all this TikTok stuff, but I'm not sure about these live videos. However, at least it's been a learning experience, and furthermore, got some nice biscuits and gravy. So, thank you very much for dropping by this afternoon. Everybody, you relax and take care because again, we've got bad weather coming in. See you all Wednesday night, Papa Dan. Yes, exactly. And yeah, especially for a Yankee. Remember, you can take it. Yes, I can. Believe you me. So thank you everybody for staying, for dropping by. And yes, thank you as well, Clico and Rick Stumbaugh, Cynthia Wesley, Granny Graham, Captain Kirk. Hey, nice. You cleaned up a Wagner Sydney. Nice. So have yourself a good evening, folks. Get ready for Monday, and let's all play it safe. Have a good evening.